Yo, what's up, everybody? Uh, so in this video, I am going to go through the division races in the NFL. So I'm not going to go through every division. I'm just going to go through the divisions where I think, in my opinion, that are the most important to me, like the NFC East and the AFC North, because I'm a Ravens Commanders fan. And then I'm gonna go through a couple other divisions that I think are sort of interesting, and or do I think they're going to end in the next couple weeks? So I think I was looking at this. I got this idea, this video idea, because I was looking at the upcoming schedule for the Commanders, and right now we are a game behind in the loss column to New York. And I was looking at it, and I was like, wow, everyone has, well, Dallas played already, so they have two, but the Commanders have three more divisional games. New York is 0-2. Um, but the reason I was looking at this is because the Giants have a pretty stacked final 6 games of the season. Now, as you can see right here, we play the Giants next Sunday. It's in New York. And then they play the Eagles, and then they come back to us because we have a bye week. It's weird. We play a game, and we have a bye, and then we play the same team again. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, I was looking at that and like, wow, this is really tough. And then they have the Vikings and the Colts, and then they end with the Eagles. Um, so I was looking at this like, if we don't win these next two games, I mean, and then I don't think they'll beat the Eagles. That's 3 losses. That'll push them down into the rankings. And with the Eagles beating them, that'll pretty much put them in sole possession. I don't think Dallas will catch up to them, and that'll put us in third place. Um, so when you go back to our standings, like I said, we get the Giants twice in a row, and then we have um, the 49ers, Browns, and Cowboys. Now, this is actually a pretty manageable remaining schedule. I'm a little concerned about the 49ers one because the 49ers have been defensively, they've been incredible the last few weeks. The Browns just came off a big win against the Tampa Bay Bucks. I was looking at them. I can get to them in a second. It's not going to be an easy game, but it's a very winnable game. And then we have the rivalry at the end with the Cowboys, which we will win. We will win that game against Dallas. Realistically, we could finish out the season undefeated. Well, not undefeated, but we could finish out the season um, with 8 in a row. Really, I'm really mad about this Vikings game because this kind of blows up what we had going. You see, we had 3 in a row. We lost. We've won 3 so far. Um, like this would have been incredible for the stand because we would be in third place right now. We'd be 7 in a row. We'd actually be 8-4. We'd be sole possession of third place. And then with 2 games to knock out the Giants, I mean, we'd pretty much be in the driver's seat um, for the playoffs. Um, so that's all I want to see about the AFC NFC East. And then another division I wanted to look at, um, the Green Bay Packers. So I made a video early. So this is it's still if you're looking at the time, it's the 11/27, 2022, 10:36. So right now it's the third quarter, 4 minutes left. The Packers are down 14. So that first video, if you saw it, I was thinking, what happens if they lose tonight, and what happens with the rest of the season? Does that affect what happens next season with Aaron Rodgers? Could this be his last season in Green Bay? because in my opinion, I don't think he wants to spend 2-3 years trying to build up a rapport and trying to get a trying to get a trying to build a relationship with these receivers. I think in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers has the same issue I think LeBron has. He doesn't like to play with young players. He doesn't like to help and like build them up and like try to mold them to be, the best player they can be. Unlike a Brady. Brady will play with anybody as long as you can help him win and you play your part. Um, but as you can see right now, it's live with the Eagles. But then they have a divisional game against the Bears. It's at Chicago. This isn't no guarantee that they'll just run away with it. Like I said, it's in Chicago, it's a rivalry game. The Rams won't be easy because they were giving Mahomes problems all day. They were in the red zone like 5 or 6 times, and there's a bunch of field goals. They had a couple touchdowns, but they made it very difficult, especially against their running attack. And then they have a game in Miami, which I don't think they'll beat Miami in Miami the way they've been playing. And then they have a game against the Lions, which is not that used to be that's something you put on the board as an instant W. But the Lions have been pretty decent this year. They just don't have the mature talent to actually, push them over the top. And you look at this schedule, the way they've been playing, and if they lose tonight, wow, they had a 5-game losing streak at one point. Jeez. With this schedule after the Eagles, all these games will be very tough for them. And the way they've been playing, like I said before, I don't think they'll beat the Lions. These last 3 games, Miami, the Vikings, and the Lions, I don't think they'll win these 3 games. I think these two games, the Bears and the Rams, are very important for what happens next season. Because I don't think they'll get into the playoffs. They lose this game, they'll be 4-8. They'll be in they'll basically be in a 3-way tie for second, if that's what it is. They'll be a game behind Detroit. They'll be in third. And then they lose to Chicago. That'll be, I don't know. It's a lot of stuff. Like I said in the last video, they could end the season like 6-11 or like 5-12 if they don't get it together. They won't make the playoffs. I can tell you that. They just kicked the field goal, 23-34. Philly's still up, but yeah, man, like this is a very interesting final stretch of the season for them. If they have to win out and then even have a chance at the playoffs. Because I think it's not just not making the playoffs for them; it's the way they just didn't make the playoffs. Like they weren't even really close to making the play. I can see if they get down to the end of the season, they have like a slim chance, a mathematical chance to get in. But I don't even see that happening because I think they'll lose tonight. And this is a toss up with the Bears and Rams, like I said. And in these last 3 weeks, I don't think they'll win those 3 games. They may come away with a break here or there against one of them, but in my opinion, I don't think they win those last 3 games. Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's see what other division I want to check out. Was that it? Oh no. So the AFC North. So the North is very interesting to me. Like I said, I'm a Ravens fan, but like I said, there have been some games this year where the offense it makes no sense. This offense is one of the most prolific rushing attacks in the league. The way they keep coming away with 3 points in the red zone is ridiculous. With the guy like Lamar Jackson, that running attack, and he can pass. Don't listen to what people say. That he can throw the ball. But sometimes it's like, man, y'all should not be settling for 3 points all the time. I think in the game today against the Jaguars, there was, if I remember correct, I think before the fourth. It was a point in the game, and they kicked 4 straight field goals. I'm like, bro, how do you get down? How do you get 4 red zone trips in a row and kick field goals when you got Lamar Jackson back there, Mark Edwards, you got all them boys. Like, come on, man, you got to find a way to get in the end zone. But so right now they're tied for second, or tied for first in the division with Cincy. Cincy came off a big win today. So they have the Broncos at home. Then they got Steelers and Browns away. Then they have the Falcons. And then they end with Steelers and at Cincy. So this game right here, the at Cincy will probably be for the division. I'm pretty sure they should have handled business today. But I'll give it to Jacksonville. That boy name. Trevor Lawrence played a hell of a game. I think he had 3 touchdowns, over 300 yards, no interceptions. Very great, a great game for his young career. I think they'll handle business against the Broncos. This game they have to win. You cannot lose to the Broncos. As bad as the Broncos have been this year, that's a game they must win. I think they'll sweep the Steelers close. And I think they'll handle business against the Browns close. The Falcons game is a little concerning because the Falcons did play pretty well. Mariota was he played pretty much a perfect game for the most part. But they didn't have him do too much out of his character. They let him pretty much play the way he's capable of playing. But this game at the end, this will be for the AFC North title, and I'm going to give it to the Ravens slight edge, even though I love my boy Joe Burrow, but I think it's going to be a slight I think they're going to get the I think they'll find a way to win that in Cincy and win the division. But yeah, like I said, this Broncos game is very important next week. Plus, it's a bounce back game. You can't lose this game because then you get into 2 division rivals in a row on the road, and you can't go, especially Pittsburgh. That's the last place you want to play. I don't care how bad that team is. That's still, that's a place you don't want to play in, especially this time of year. I'm pretty sure the weather and on December 11th, the temperature is going to be. I'm already calling it out. I don't want it to be, but I'm pretty sure by that point in the year, in a couple weeks, we talking about 30s and 20s. I can already call it. And in Cleveland, the same thing, 20s and 30s. So yeah, and let's see, I think there was one more division. Now, so there was a couple divisions that there was the reason why I made this video, and I was looking at some of the divisions. So like Tennessee has like a 3-game lead on Indianapolis. So I was thinking, what happens if Jacksonville runs the table? So I was looking at this, and Jacksonville has, let's see, they have the Lions, Titans, both road games, and then they have a game in Dallas, game versus Dallas, sorry. Then you have at Jets, at Texans, and then they finish at home with the Titans. I was thinking maybe they can make a push and make it interesting for the AFC South, but the problem is this team, I think this game right here was a little too late in the season, and like the Lions, that'll be a great high-scoring game. I can go either way. But in order, they'd have to sweep the Titans in order to even have a chance of that, because they'll beat the Texans. And they're not going to beat Dallas, even though I don't want them to. I don't want Dallas to win, but they're not going to beat Dallas. And so you'd have to win the Lions game, sweep the Titans, Texans. You know what I'm saying? They'd have to go undefeated. So that would put them at what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and 7. But like I said, they won't win this because they won't run the table against these teams. The Texans is pretty much an automatic dub. even though the Texans do fight hard, they don't quit. I appreciate that, but they're not a good team, man. They're not a good team. The Jets, I think if they keep Mike White at quarterback, there was a big difference from this week to last week when it came to the offensive performance. What's his name? I forgot the receiver for the Jets called him out last week. And I was like, yeah, that stuff ain't cool. And they turned it around and they put up 31 points. I was like, that's a big difference. They went from 3 points, and I think they had they had like 2 yards in the second half last week. I'm like, come on now, 2 yards a whole half. I mean, you can get 2 yards in one play. All you gotta do is throw a little screen, you get 2 yards minimum. That's just crazy. But yeah, that's I think they're not making the playoffs, but you never know. Stuff could get interesting. Let's see. This right here, the AFC East, that's going to come down to the last week. That's why I'm not even looking at that. Anybody could win it. My only issue is the Bills right here, 0-2 in the division already. So that means they have 4 games left in the division. So they got to win all those games in division just to have a chance. Let's see, AFC West. Kansas City pulled out the win. Like I said, this is the same thing I was saying about the Baltimore Ravens. It makes no sense. You have this offense with Mahomes, Kelce, and that boy. They did Pacheco. That boy can run the ball. He runs tough. He's a small dude, but he runs tough. Hand him the ball more. When he was getting the ball, there was some plays he was hitting 5-6 yards a carry. And to be fair, that line did hold up in the red zone. That's why they were kicking a lot of field. I think they had, like I said, they scored a couple touchdowns, I believe. I forgot. I think it was a pass from Mahomes, and it was they did something else. I think I forgot. But yeah, when you get all that offense, you should not be selling for 3 points unless you really have to. Now, to be fair, like I said, that line for the Rams is very good. It's very tough. But there's one team I want to look at, the Raiders, because they run today, and I'm happy for them. They do have 2 more divisional games left, but I want them to get in the playoffs, man, because I hate seeing a great player on a bad organization. It hurts my heart. I'm like, they're wasting your talent, man. They're wasting your prime years being bad because they don't know how to run the organization. And unfortunately for them, the way they've been playing, I mean, they've put up some. I mean, the Broncos, that's a divisional game, but the Broncos have been bad. And you look at their schedule, like every game was very close, other than the Texans. Well, they wanted to beat the Texans and the Broncos the first time, but like every other game they played was down to the last. They lost by 1 possession, other than the Saints game. That was weird. And the Saints got shut out today. That was just some weird stuff going on. But yeah, I mean, so they got the Chargers at Rams, Patriots at Steelers, 49ers, Chiefs. Them to run the table to have a chance, only because they had that. It all depends on what's going on with the Chiefs. The Chiefs have the locked up number 1 seed. I think they can run the table, maybe, but I don't see them. That 49ers game might mess them up because I think they'll get past the Steelers. And even the game next week, that Chargers game could be anybody. That can go either way. The Rams are just I mean, will Stafford be back by then? Maybe. I mean, even then, they weren't really doing all that well with him before he got hurt. So I don't know about that game. And then the Patriots are just like kind of, Mac Jones he'll have a good game, and he's inconsistent. So that'll pretty much be what defense can put against Derek Carr. But like, I would love for Derek Carr to get in the playoffs, man, so he can show what he does. I think he's only been one time and he lost that time. So I don't know. We'll see. And I think that's all I wanted to really look at. I don't really care about NFC West. I mean, I do. I would prefer to see Seattle win the division, but I don't think they'll get past. They're already 4-0. San Francisco, I think. What's how many division? Who would they play left in the division? They played the Cardinals and the Seahawks. I think. Okay, so that's the Seahawks get one more chance to win that. But even then, the Seahawks. Well, I guess they would win the tiebreaker, right? If they because the Seahawks would have to beat the 49ers and then they got to beat the Rams. They got the Rams twice the rest of the way. So it's possible, but I mean, it's at that point it still comes down to records. It's not just a tiebreak. The tiebreak only works if you got the same record. So let's see. Yeah, I don't. Other than the Panthers, I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't. I mean, the Seahawks have been like the like the big story of the year, but I don't see them sweeping the Rams. I don't see that happening twice, and they're not beating the Chiefs. So yeah, I don't think. I don't. I think that's pretty much done because I think San Francisco has a slightly easier schedule. Um, the Bucks. Then they got the Commanders and Raiders. Maybe I don't know, but every team in this last few bit for the San Francisco 49, other than like the Cardinals have been bad this year. The Raiders have been like slightly high. Commanders have been on the road. They should have had 7 in a row, but 6 or 7 is I'll take it. Shoot, Seahawks have been good. Buccaneers have kind of went. They kind of been ascending, but then they got beat today by the Browns, and then the Dolphins have just been incredible this year. So I don't see that. I think it'll be very close. I think it'll come down to like the last 2 weeks in the NFC West. But I mean, ultimately, I think it'll go to San Francisco unless something weird happens the rest of the way. Um, and plus, they have the better conference record. So I mean, the Seattle will literally have to have a better record because I don't think the divisional tiebreaker. I don't think would be enough. Would the divisional tiebreaker? I think the divisional tiebreaker would be enough. No, it won't be because they split the series though, right? Because they already played. Yeah, they already played Seattle once early in the season, so it would come down to the conference standings. They would have the better conference record, even if they ended up with the same. I believe so. Don't quote me because I don't feel like going through the back and forth with it. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on the divisional races and kind of my prediction of how the season's going to play out. As of right now, what is this, week 12? This is week 12, right? Yeah, it's week 12. Okay. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, let me know what you think. Who's your favorite team? What do you think about the divisions? Who do you think is going to win these games? Who do you think is going to win the divisions? And let me know. All right, later.